Like this whole time you were looking at me, brother, and you had submitted a fabricated evidence to the DA to get me locked up and prosecuted. I lost pretty much everything: my career, my reputation, my peace of mind. Part of my wife, she's scarred by this. There's a lot that I lost.
Okay, it has been up to about a little under 4 years since when I last caught up with each other. Mr. JT Jackson, how are you doing? What have you been up to? Yeah, just overall.
Since the last time, I would say just since the last time you and I had our little talk, a lot of things happen. Good things, frustrating things. Are you talking about in regards to the case or just my life?
I think the life, in my opinion, from the outside looking in, is a part of the case. Is a part of your life.
Okay.
So just overall, like, yeah, how have you been since we last talked? Yeah, just the impact that the case has been in your life, and I'm here to try to, catch up with you.
Gotcha. I would say, man, just numb, desensitized.
Damn.
With what's happening. Of course, my wife, my lovely wife, and God has helped me out get through and push forward with what's happening with this case. It's been going on for 7 years, brother. And I'm just numb to it, man. I'm glad that the case is over. The criminal part of it, I'm glad that criminal part is over. Right. But other than that, man, I'm just still fighting, man. And I ain't stopping.
When you say numb, when I hear that, I just take it as like someone has beaten up so bad that they just have got to that point. Is that pretty accurate here?
100%.
Like pretty much beaten up so bad, it's just like
100%, man. I wear it well. Some people, look at me like, how do you do it, JT? Like, from what you've been through, you just still smile. Yeah, I smile, but I don't want to, but I do. It's tough. It's definitely tough.
Yeah. Now, as far as for those who don't know, what are you currently suing Kevin Hart for? Because I was able to kind of catch the headlines that came out. They saying like you coming after 12 million. It's like, okay, what is going on? Like, for those that don't know.
Well, oh, okay, yeah. He should be lucky that I am asking only for 12 million. But at the same time, people need to understand that Kevin is surrounded by this narrative as if he was pretty much extorted or a crime was committed against him, and everything that has been in his favor up until when I was prosecuted and arrested, and even up until now, he has the world thinking that he was extorted. Okay. My lawyers, which you met, Jacob Glucksman, back in November in 2020, you heard his story. That pretty much was what was happening. Nobody ever contacted Kevin Hart. Nobody extorted Kevin Hart. And I'm suing him for defamation. I'm suing him for malicious prosecution, which the malicious prosecution only just came about this year because of what we found out, which was the fabricated email that he, and I don't even have to say allegedly, that he sent to the DA, district attorney's office. He did. Okay. So that malicious prosecution claim just came out this year for us. That's why we added it and amended the complaint in August. I think it was on August 6th, 2024. So then I'm suing him for breach of contract, suing him for IIED, which is it's called emotional distress, something about emotional distress. I know it's IIED, and fraudulent inducement. Fraudulent inducement stems from it stems from him sending in the fabricated email to the DA's office.
Yeah. So Jay, I want to make sure we kind of storyline this as well, just for the viewers that are tapping back into the story, as well as the new ones that are just hearing about it. So there was a situation that we all very much aware of. Kevin Hart, he ends up being caught on camera. We say from our reception, he was caught on camera engaging in a sexual act with a woman.
Yeah.
And then the aftermath would be that it would turn out that it would be spent to an extortion case where maybe the woman set up the camera, who knows who did it, and then all of a sudden it falls on you as the guy behind this equation who allegedly sent him an email, they said, and then now we're finding out that this email was actually created by Kevin Hart.
100% accurate on pretty much what you said. I mean, you can't refute science. I mean,
Right.
I mean, you have a forensics analyst who listened to all of the interviews that were between Kevin Hart's people, which is his people, meaning his legal representatives, and his the DA's office, which that's another part of my lawsuit, and a totally different lawsuit where I'm suing them individually for their part in this case. But yeah, I mean, he has no argument and no excuse on why he sent the DA fabricated email with the email that you're talking about. I was arrested for that.
And I have access to some of the court documents and filings, and there was a declaration of Michael R. Vandermeer.
Yes.
In support of you.
Yes.
Yeah, who is that real quick? And then I want to read a part of this.
Okay.
Document.
Well, Michael Vandermeer, I mean, a fantastic, I mean, his resume is about as long as California. So he's a forensics data analyst. He's an expert. Okay. So we hired him, I want to say around August 14th, 2024. Okay. Which is recent. So, I was always suspicious about the email, back in when I first filed my section 1983 complaint against the DA's office, with the individuals in the DA's office that, Los Angeles County DA's office. But, that's when I realized that something was odd about the email that I was arrested for. It was just something weird about it, but I couldn't pinpoint it right then and there, but I knew it was something wrong with it. So I filed the case against the DA's office then.
Story was that you sent the email was what you were being alleged for, right?
100%. 100%.
Okay. And the email was, I think, talking about some tapes, or alleging that they had tapes on Kevin and that they wanted money out of him.
And to be honest, listen, the forensics evidence says that, well, Kevin admitted that he was the first to receive the email. So that's why we can say that Kevin, now I ain't going to have to say alleged, but Kevin is the one who fabricated the email because he was the first to receive it. You understand? It's all in the report. But, but the language in it is crazy. I mean, if you're going to fabricate an email, why put that? You shouldn't put that type of language in there. I think it has something to do with molestation, has something to do with, it was molestation. And I forgot what the other one was. But it was just as bad, but for them to say that I sent that and then never bring it up in none of the court cases, they they didn't even bring you. And I know why they didn't bring it up, because they didn't bring it up because the words molestation was in it. You understand? They never brought it up in none of the proceedings during the criminal case. They didn't even insert it in there at all. So I was arrested for this email that never was presented in none of the proceedings in the criminal case whatsoever.
Gotcha. How did he even pull that off to make it seem like it came from you?
Well, that's the thing. They had no evidence. I don't know if you have the brief or whatever. It's funny.
I was gonna.
Oh, okay. Well, just to say, just know they had no evidence tying me to it. All you gotta do is read her testimony. She said that the DA investigator who was now being sued by me, she literally said under oath in testimony on November 12th, 2019, she literally said, "I assumed it was your client," when she was answering Jacob in cross-examination. She said, "I assumed." Like, you didn't even have proof, no evidence. My lawyer just tore her a new asshole with that shit. Like, you can't be out there talking about you assume that somebody did that. That's why I was arrested. So the answer to your question, there was no evidence.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Jay, when I look at this report, it says the report identifies the forensic methodology I used, the evidence I reviewed, in my conclusion, based on my comprehensive forensic analysis of the 4/27/18 email PDF document, which was presented as an extortion email allegedly received by Mr. Hart on April 27, 2018, in my review of the May 22nd, 2019 interview and the testimony presented in the November 12, 2019 preliminary hearing, it is my professional opinion that the document labeled 4/27/18 email is neither original email nor an authentic forwarded email for the following reasons. It's not an original piece of evidence, and there was no apparent effort made by the district attorney's office to properly preserve the original digital source. There is no chain of custody documentation that tracks and details how it was received by Mr. Hart, forwarded to his attorney, and ultimately delivered in its current PDF form to the district attorney's office. There is no evidence within the content that it was ever forwarded, as it is missing text and fields that are expected in a forwarded email, thus contradicting the statements made by Mr. Hart, his legal counsel, and the district attorney's office representatives in the May 22nd, 2019 interview attempted to authenticate it. It is missing metadata, including the hidden messages or the hidden message headers that could be used to validate its authenticity. The metadata is not consistent with its originating as an email to Mr. Hart. In fact, it reveals that the document was created in Microsoft Word 1 year after the alleged date of the email. Now stop right there.
Yeah, man. I mean, come on, man.
What other consistencies do you think also exist that you at least kind of can pinpoint on your end?
You said inconsistencies?
Yep, inconsistencies.
Can you repeat it? Just
Are there other inconsistencies that you can point out when it comes to Kevin's accusations against you, or how things were framed up against you?
Yeah, I mean, just for the simple fact that he's saying that he was extorted. You know, like, dude, you was never extorted, bro. Like, you lied, man. You straight up lied, dog. Like, and the sad part is, I was willing to let that ride only if he would have just looked out for me, do what he said he was going to do. You know, I know I'm probably jumping the gun with the questions and stuff like, but that's why the agreement, the contract came about. But I don't have to talk about that until you bring it up. But I was letting it ride, man. I was still I owed him nothing to I could have just went straight to court and just sued him right away, you know. But at the same time, you're still out here playing the card that you were extorted. Dude, nobody contacted you, man. Nobody. We have the evidence. All of it. All of it. There's nothing you can say to refute it. There's nothing they have. There's no evidence. They will not be able to prove that Kevin Hart was extorted. That is a fact. Okay? That's a fact.
So the story, again, like the original story is, this will come out, Kevin saying I'm being extorted. All of a sudden, you get identified as the person. They came to your home,
yes,
I remember, and arrested you.
Mm-hmm.
Did you automatically know what was going on, or was it confusion? What was your reaction, and when did you know that you were being framed for something that you did not?
Right. Okay. So let me clear that up. What you just said. I wasn't arrested when they came to my home.
Okay.
All right. So what happened was they came to my home, kicked in our door. Right now, I'm just going to explain how it went down and why it's impossible for me to let this go. You understand? Like we're going to have to resolve this no matter what, you know? So they kicked down our door on like January 23rd, 2018. Okay. And I heard a loud knock. I mean, I'm talking about the knock was so loud, I thought somebody was coming in, you know, I thought somebody was trying to break into my house. You know what I mean? That's how loud it was at 7 a.m. So I ain't gonna lie. I thought that was some action for me. You know what I mean? So I grabbed my gun, you know what I mean? I ran to the door. And as I was coming to the door, I heard I heard radios, you know, and mind you, I already racked my gun. I had one in the head and all that stuff. So I hear the police saying, Mr. Jackson, this is the DA's office. It's like 13, 14 police officers ready. They talking about open the door. I'm not opening that fucking door. I have a whole gun around on the other side. I would not be a statistic. You understand? So I was like, you know what? My wife is in the other room. She's hysterical, rightfully so. So I went and I backed from the door. I went back to our room. I unloaded my gun, threw it under the bed, and my wife said, "What's happening?" I told my wife, I said, they about to come up in this motherfucker. And they said, "Well, who?" I said, the police. She said, "Why?" I said, "I have no idea." And then all I heard was tear it down. That's all we heard. And then it was just boom. This was like, boom. It took them, it took them 9 hits to get in the door, by the way, just so you know. I thought that was pretty, I thought that door was pretty amazing. I mean, even to the point we actually heard the dude hitting the door. He took a break. He said, "Woo." He said, "Woo. It's a strong door," and he kept hitting. Anyway, they came in, and what was odd is they didn't rush in. Normally that you would see in any type of, I'm going somewhere with this. Normally when they come in your home, they come in with the guns and all this stuff or whatever, but they didn't do that to me. They didn't do that with me for some reason. So they all I heard was the door get crunched, and they said, "Mr. Jackson?" I said, "Yes." They said, "Yeah, we have a warrant. We need you to come out." I said, "Listen, me and my wife, we're in here in the room." I said, "We got our hands up. We are unarmed. We are no threat to you." I said, "Y'all can come in here and get me." They said, "No, you gonna come out here." And I was like, well, that's strange, and I was like, all right. And they said, "Do you see these lasers?" And I was like, and I lied. I said, "Yeah, I didn't see no lasers." But when I came around the corner, because the way the house was set up, you couldn't see anything around the corner. They couldn't see me and I couldn't see them. But when I came around that corner, I saw them lasers, like green lasers. I was like, damn, like, really? You know what I mean? Like, what is this? You know what I mean? So they said, "All right, Mr. Jackson, come on out." And I'm real cautious. That was around the time, Jay, where police was letting people have it, man. You know what I mean? They were shooting people, and I wasn't going to be that statistic. So I said, "Listen, I'm gonna come out." I said, but you're going to have to, I said, but I'm gonna come out with the way I want to come out. You know what I mean? So there won't be no accident. They said, "All right, come on. They was just trying to hurry up and get me out there. So there's a wall where you can't see anything again. You can't see me. So I put my hand out first. You know what I mean? I said, "Do you see my hand?" They said, "Yes, we see your hand." And I said, "All right," because I feel like if they shoot my hand, I can live. You know what I mean? For real. You know what I mean? So I said, "Well, all right." So I put my right hand like this, staggered, so they can see that, I ain't got nothing in my hand. I said, "Do you see my right hand?" They said, yeah, this come on. I said, "No." I said, "I need to hear that y'all see my hands." You know what I mean? "Yes, Mr. Jackson, we see your hand." And they got mad. I put my left foot out. I said, "You see my left foot?" You know what I mean? I swear to God. I said, "You see my left foot?" They said, "Mr. Jackson, yes, we see your left foot." I said, "Listen, I don't want no problems. I don't want any mistakes." Yeah. So I said, "All right, I'm coming out." I came out. They told me, "Turn around. This is in my home still." I put my hand behind my head. They said, "All right, turn around, face another way, away from us." And I did, and they said, "All right, back up." So they put the handcuffs on me and they tried to take me downstairs. And then it was my wife's turn to come out. I said, "No." I said, "Please let me guide my wife out because she's hysterical. We don't even know why y'all here." You know what I mean? And she's crying, So I said, "Please let me just guide her out." And I hear her crying. And then they said, "All right." I said, "Babe, do you see how I came out?" She said, "Yeah." So she did the same thing I did. You know what I mean? And she turned around and locked, and they put us and took us downstairs. So coming to find out, man, they came like that, didn't come in my home because they knew I had registered guns. All right.
Right.
All right. I mean, I don't know. I think I had about seven or eight of them. One of them, whatever.
What? Wow.
Yeah, I love guns. Okay. I mean, I ain't doing nothing with them. You know what I mean? But I just love them.
Yeah, but that's notable.
Yeah. So that's why I didn't run in. And then they tied me to being in the military. I don't know who the hell they thought I was. They put a Green Beret or some damn Navy. Yeah. Navy SEAL or something like that. You know what I mean? Like that's how they came in the house. Like that. I mean, they were not running. They didn't know what and for some reason, I don't know why people just in general, I'm pretty sure they did, just assume people that was in the military like myself are tied to PTSD, which I do have PTSD. You know what I mean? But not all people with PTSD are crazy. You understand? So they thought that maybe I was going to do something to them. I get it. They were just protecting themselves. So they took us downstairs and they asked me where all the weapons were. And I told them I had them all around the house. All right. And so they unloaded them, put it on my bed, and they didn't take nothing. So anyway, they came in, they sat me down, interviewed me at my home. So as soon they said, do you know why we're here? I said, no. I said, I have no slightest clue on why you're here. Well, you sent Kevin Hart an extortion email. Right then, I'm answering your question. Right then and there, that's when I knew I was being set up. They said, you sent Kevin Hart an email. And I said, oh, yeah? I literally just said it like that. I said, oh, yeah? They said, yeah. I said,
Jay, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
You know, that was unfortunate. That was crazy that you had to deal with that. I'm glad that you had sense on how to maneuver you and your wife out of that, because that could have went.
That's what I'm saying, man. A crime that never happened. But hold on, before you go, but I just want to clear one more thing up. The reason why this is an issue for me, and reason why I can never let this go, is because January 23rd just wasn't no ordinary day, brother. You know what I mean? That was my wedding anniversary and my late father's birthday on the same day. Okay?
Wow.
We purposely got married on that day, on January 23rd in 2015, because as a present to my dad while he was alive. You know what I mean? So for them to come in our home on our anniversary day and on the day where, you know, my late father is now passed away, which was a birthday present, we have to relive this every fucking year. We don't even celebrate. Me and my wife don't even celebrate our anniversary. My dad, we'll call and wish him a happy birthday when he was alive, but he even knew that we weren't happy and he was feeling some type of way. So when you got people that tell you move on from this and do that, man, it's impossible. You know what I mean? My wife has PTSD over this shit. You know what I mean? And as well as I, but at the same time, like, my wife ain't right about this. She's still having nightmares about this. You know what I mean? And I'm pissed. I'm pissed about that because she didn't deserve it. You know what I mean? I didn't deserve it. Especially of a crime that never happened. Homie, it didn't happen. So no, I'm not letting it go and until I'm satisfied with what you're going to do for me. You know what I mean? You're going to clear my name. Kevin's going to clear my name. Whether he likes it or not, he's going to clear my name.
Speaking of that, right?
Yeah.
So you guys would eventually, your name will get cleared and you were found not guilty. Yeah. And then there was an agreement made between you and Kevin. And I saw a video go up. He does mention you in this video, but what was the agreement made between you two that you can at least give us clarity on?
I'll give you clarity on it.
End up back to this point.
Yeah, I'll give you clarity on it. So what happened was Kevin's team realized that Jacob that you met, he realized that we were getting close to almost trial during the criminal case. And the only thing that was left was just the identity theft charges. A charge that nobody ever stole Kevin Hart's identity, by the way. And he never mentioned it, never brought it up. But this is the DA's thing doing that because nobody wanted to wear the egg on the face that they fucked up. You know what I mean? So they just dragged the case out. They dragged the case out for 3.5 years. 3.5 years. They dropped the extortion charges. So this is the key. The extortion charges all of them were dropped on September 27, 2019. Okay? All of them. So that was a year after I was arrested for extortion. So all the extortion charges are gone. There's nothing left. Your main crux of you being extorted, all of that is gone. And it's on the merit of Jacob Glucksman. He's the one who pointed it out. Like, y'all pretty much fucked up. Y'all lied. You know what I mean? And so what happened was that when they dropped all the charges, Kevin had the nerve to double down. And they knew, Kevin and his team knew they dropped the charges. They knew they dropped the extortion charges, but then Kevin still doubled down and did the Don't Fuck This Up docuseries on Netflix, where he still said that I'm the one who did it. That's defamation, brother. You know what I mean? You know, not only were you ever extorted, but you saw that all the charges were dropped against me on the extortion charges, but you still put out a damn docuseries where you benefited from. You got paid off of that to put me down. You know what I mean? And right then and there, when that happened, I'm like, I'm suing them. There ain't no way around. I was, I think that was one of the questions. I'm suing them. I was angry about that. I'm like, yo, bro, I wasn't even going to sue you. You know what I mean? Even though I know you did the fuck shit, I was going to not sue you. But since he did, but yeah, seriously. So what happened was he came to us. He came to me and my lawyer. We didn't even go to him. He came to me and my lawyer with a proposal saying that, hey, you know, like it was a good proposal saying, yeah, man, listen, we gonna get the remaining charges dropped. And I'm looking at my lawyer and I said, we don't need them to drop no damn charges. I said, those charges are about to be dropped anyway on our own merit. And I'll be damned if I sign any contract to prevent me from clearing my name publicly through trial. You understand? Because I was looking for my big debut of being found innocent. You understand? And I wanted it to be just as loud as they did to tear me down. So I wasn't trying to sign no contract over some dumbass charges that I knew that was going to get dropped. You're not doing me no favor. I'm doing you a favor at this point because you don't want me to go out to clear my name. You know, and we know they didn't want me to go out to clear my name because we have all the emails, you know, that shows that they specifically said that we don't want JT to go out bad-mouthing Kevin Hart. Bad-mouthing Kevin Hart. That's exactly what they said. No, I'm just going to go out there and just tell my truth. That's not bad-mouthing anybody. Your guy, you know what I mean? Your guy submitted fabricated evidence now, dog. You know what I mean? So anyway, so they said, so I shut it down. I said, no, I don't, we don't need you for that. You know what I mean? And so they said, well, what can we do? They offered me money. You know what I mean? I turned that down. I said, you don't have enough money to buy my reputation. You don't. I said, I'm talented enough to make my own money. I don't need your money. I said, if you want me to, I'm going to be frank. I know I've been frank all the time. These were my exact words to his lawyer and whoever else was on the phone. I said, if you want me to shut the fuck up and not say anything about clearing my name, I said, then Kevin has to go out and clear my name just as loud as they ruined my life. I ain't gonna lie. I said that because I knew they were going to say no. I just knew that because I wanted to clear my name. Nobody's going to clear it better than me. You know what I mean? So they said, okay, Kevin agrees to that. And I was like, he gonna clear my name? They said, yeah. I said, and he gonna clear it the way I want him to clear it. He gonna say what I want him to say. They said, yeah. I said, ain't no way in hell Kevin gonna do that. They said, yeah, he gonna do it. I said, all right. So the whole time before we signed anything, we were negotiating what he was going to say, what he wasn't going to say. And we all came to the point where we came to an agreement on what he was going to say. And the main thing that I want him to get to, I don't care how he was going to get to it, but this is what he put. He's the one who wrote all that other little fluffy shit in the beginning, you know what I mean, to get to where he wanted to go. He's the one who wrote that. I just wanted him to say, hey, I had nothing to do with it and I was not guilty. But the way I was not guilty and had nothing to do with it.
That wasn't nothing to do with it. Sounds like everything is covered at that point.
There you go. He couldn't even do that, man. There you go. So that was the agreement. And that was a huge, we negotiated over that for like six months on what I wanted him to say. So it was a big deal for me. And I'm like, well, hey, all right. I guess I have the biggest dude in Hollywood. He can go out and clear my name. The guy who said that he was extorted is now about to say that I'm clear. And so I can get back out there to work. I'm like, all right, well, that's good for me. Let's do it. But as you saw, he didn't do it. You know what I mean?
You know, hearing this story again, it's so many questions of like, why, on Kevin's end, why put himself through this? Is this part of like the Hollywood game where you have to create a level of controversy to, you know, like, I'm just trying to figure out what his motive might have been around this. However, I want to move us along just a bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when it comes down to the video that Kevin dropped, what exactly did he not include? I was like, just verbatim, he didn't mention, because he said something about like, you know, oh, JT was found not guilty, but he never had that line in there. Was that specifically the only thing that needed to be mentioned, or was there more?
The main thing, the crux that needed to be mentioned was JT was not guilty, not found not guilty, because when you say found not guilty, it makes it seem like I've been to court. I was judged by my peers. You see what I'm saying? That's and it comes across as if I got away with something. You know what I mean? So when he said found not guilty, right then and there, I was like, this man, boy, I went off, you know what I mean? And so then he was supposed to say, again, I had nothing to do with it. That's all he had to do. That's all he had to say. And it was free. It was free. He didn't have to pay nothing for none of that. Normally people would charge him for, to get it some NDA agreement. I didn't want your money, brother. I just wanted my name back because I can work and get my own money. He knows that. His people knew that. And my people knew. We have emails that shows that I don't want your money. But since he played me, you know what I mean, and breached the contract on October 27, 2021, which is the video that you're talking about where you saw him driving. And then him driving it didn't even look genuine. You know what I mean? It was just him driving.
Setting up the scene, man. He was trying to make it seem casual.
Yeah, like, homie, I wasn't having it. I called once they dropped them charges. I called him that same day, cussed him out. We mind you, we haven't talked in probably since the case. You know what I mean? I'm talking about, I let him have it, and he tried to get a couple of curse words in, but I countered those. You know what I mean? Fast. So so we would, and then my wife was looking at me. She was like, just telling me, bring it down, calm down. I was hot, brother. I was hot. I'm like, that was my chance to get back out there, clear my name, and he fucked it up. So I was mad, man. You know what I mean? All of the negotiations, and you do this, Right. So I called him. We cussed each other out. I said, man, listen, I'm about to sue your motherfucking ass. These are my words. I'm just being how I said, I'm suing your motherfucking ass. He was like, well, we ain't got to go that far. We don't have to do that. What I'll do is I'll fix it. He said, but I can't go back on and live and do it again, because then it will come off, not genuine. And I agreed with that. I said, well, whatever you got to do, you need to do it. I said, because the way you did it, that is not what we discussed. And I said, and now the timing of it is bad. I said, so whatever you're going to do, you need to do it. He said, all right, I got you. Give me some time and we'll work things out. Him and I linked up since that time, since 2027, 2021, all the way up until 2023. We probably linked up in person, talk, like in his car, and like really chopped it up. It was nice seeing him. He would say it was nice seeing you. It was the vibe was cool, and he kept giving me these fake promises. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna set you up with this. I'm gonna set you up with that. I'm like, all right, man, I'm hearing you talk, but you ain't making, you're not making these moves for me, bro. And he was just like, no, I got you, man. I got these investments going on. I got this going on. So right now I can't really say. I said, man, what does that got to do with me? I said, I don't care about your investments, brother.
Right.
You know what I mean? Do what you said you was gonna do. Point I'm trying to make, John, is I tried to keep this out of the public. Okay? I tried my best to keep this out of the public.
After you interviewed with me,
yeah,
you guys to kind of like talk about catch back up and kind of move forward.
Oh, this is way after. Yeah, this is way after, because I met with you in 2020. This is in 2021. Like literally almost a year later. We met up in November. We met up a couple of times in November. We met up in January. We met, and like I said, I got all the records. I got all the text messages. I got all of that.
Open to kind of like rekindle a friendship out of that. Like, how were you moving at that point?
Wait, you talking about during that time or now?
Yeah, when you caught up with Kevin, was it like all about like getting your name back restored, or more like, damn, maybe we can put this past us. Maybe we can be kind of cool again.
Yeah, like we would never be cool like we were. I mean, that's a fact, but there was still enough love between us because we've been through a lot, in Hollywood together, what I mean? Before Kevin was even Kevin. So there was still that part of like, we can maybe do some lunch or something. You know what I mean? We were working probably towards that or whatnot, but my main goal was to have him clear my name. And that was first and foremost. And then he's the one that offered that, hey, I'm gonna get you in this movie. I'm gonna do this for you. I'm gonna get you these animations over here. And I'm like, oh, I said, well, listen, homie. I said, I appreciate that, but just know I said, I'll take it, but I want my name clear, brother. You know what I mean? I said, I'm not saying that I want you to go out there and say, hey, JT. I said, I know your reputation to you is golden, but my reputation to me is golden as well. I said, but we could work together. And I said, I said, we could do it a certain way where people can be like, oh shit, I guess they cool now. You know what I mean? I offered this to him. I gave him all these proposals. He was down for it. Yeah, I got you. We could do it. But he just kept stringing me along.
I think that's where it just draws my curiosity. And of course, maybe one day I can speak to Kevin directly about how he went through this process. Because it doesn't make sense on like why he would put himself through this and then not just be like, you know what, I messed up, I made a mistake. I overshot the situation. I was paranoid. From my vantage point, it just seems like if he's fabricating emails, is he just doing this to draw up some type of like conversation for himself? Because I know that's part of the game too in Hollywood. Well, publicity and everything.
Well, my answer to that is that it has nothing to do with him drawing attention to him for anything. At that point, his team and Kevin pushed a narrative of extortion. They had to keep that. They had to keep that. You know what I mean?
But I think that's where I'm just in my mind. It's like, and this is maybe me being naive and not and totally insider in the business. Can we not make mistakes? Is it okay to be like, you know what, we all fucked up, and let's keep it pushing. Let's make right with JT and then move on. I think the audience is somewhat forgiving. It makes, that's why it leads me to be like, it can't be just like you made a mistake or you don't want to be seen like you can't be trusted. We all have those faults.
Right.
Like if Kevin would have said, you know what, I got to go back on my word. It was an extortion case. I was paranoid and I just felt that, you know, people around me I couldn't trust. And I think the audience would have just bit that.
They would have loved it. They would have loved that. But the issue with that, Jay, is that I think around that time he was just accused of cheating, like I think in Miami. I think, you know, like I think it was around June or something. Remember it was something going around where he was in a car with some lady, some female, and then 3 months later he's caught where they brought me into it. He's caught again cheating. So you also have to look at it like this. Kevin at that time was huge, which he still is huge, a huge celebrity. Yeah. When you sign contracts, he's doing all these, you know, he a lot of movies, a lot of sponsors, a lot
family stuff too, some family content.
Right.
He had a family game that.
Yeah, that right. I think he ended up losing that one though, because of that. You know, I think the people that he did the game with was trying to sue him because they're saying, because when that came out with him cheating on his wife, they said that ruined all the, you know, the family look. Yep. So what happens is, to answer your question, you say you don't understand, you know, you kind of like, you know, you try to put it together. All I can say is this: when you got somebody on the level of like Kevin Hart, there's a lot of contracts that he has to sign. Okay, there's morality clauses in these contracts, and if these people give you money up front to do what you're supposed to do, and then you go out and mess their brand up, they're gonna want that money back. You understand? So yeah. So what I'm saying is that I'm not saying that, you know, that's what it was, you know, but that's the only thing that makes sense. So
that makes sense to you. What was going down?
Absolutely. I mean, you can't go from like they blew the extortion up. I mean, it was everywhere. You know what I mean? So if he goes and I wasn't extorted, his credibility goes, and he probably would have to pay some people that he told that he signed the contracts with. I was extorted. And so this is this, I'm dealing with it. So it probably would have backfired financially heavily for him.
Domino effect.
There you go. So that, you know, again, that's an alleged, you know, but that's what my thoughts were.
I'm not mad at that theory. Like I said, maybe one day I can talk directly.
Yeah, I would like to know. Yeah, I want to know too.
Yeah, what was going on. Now to move us along, you know, you kind of already mentioned a lot of things that you lost in this ordeal. Can you kind of riff off your head, like just thinking about your career? Because when you were arrested, and when you had that raid happen, you were filming a movie then, right?
Yes.
Like the same time?
Yes, I was filming a movie called Get Lucky. and didn't look like I got lucky. You know what I mean?
Right. And so when you deal with that, your career at this point, have you feel that it has been snatched from you, or at least it was snatched, or like how do you process the things that you lost, including your career?
Devastating. Everything. Like I lost pretty much everything: my career, my reputation, my peace of mind. You know, my you know, part of my wife. Not like she don't love me or nothing like that, but she's scarred by this. There's a lot that I lost. You know, but financially, I mean, I was a working actor. You know, like I mean, a for real working actor. Now people may not know who I was, but during the times that I was working, that bank account knew who I was at that time. You understand? So when you go from, let's just say, I'll just give you the numbers. From 2003, when I moved out to LA, to 2018, when I was falsely arrested for the extortion crime, I booked 133 jobs. 133 jobs. If you do that, if you do an average of that, that's 8 jobs per year. Okay? That is fantastic out here. People don't do that. You understand? So when you cut to me being arrested and then you go from 2018 to present and I ain't booked shit, you know what it is. It's because I was falsely accused of a crime that never took place. It took a lot for me, you know? But we have all the evidence to show all of that as well.
So Jay, like, you laid up a lot of things, and I definitely feel for you from a level of like, it seemed like it came out the blue. It didn't feel like it was warranted. And my interaction with you have always been genuine. That's the way that I read you, as like just a genuine guy. You know, you kind of wear your heart on your sleeve, and you're not necessarily like with the ulterior motives. I don't get that from you. And so when I see this happen, it's like, damn, okay. This is happening to like someone that doesn't deserve it to happen.
Absolutely.
Was there any moments where you got to a point where you were like thinking about like revenge or how you would like kind of get back in that situation? Not necessarily just at Kevin, but just from the situation, without incriminating yourself.
No, I get what you're saying. No, I get what you're saying. When you say revenge, yes. But the revenge that I'm talking about was clearing my name. All right. But if in regards to hurting somebody, not saying that's what you're asking, because I know that's not what you're asking, but you just want to know what was happening around that time mentally with me.
You plan on getting back? Like, what was?
My plan was to clear the entire plan was like, all right, I'm about to show these, you know, people. I know I've been cursing the whole time, but I'm trying to slow down. But I'm about to show them that I had nothing to do with this, you know? And so that was my revenge. My revenge was, I'm going to hit the ground running and I'm going to turn those tables right back around to them. That was my goal the whole time. And it's still my goal because I know I didn't do nothing. I didn't do anything, you know? And I know the evidence that we have is irrefutable. Kevin or his team even now cannot even dispute. They have not even brought up a counter argument to the fabricated email. They haven't even brought up another counter argument to the clauses that were in the agreement that Kevin was supposed to clear my name. They have no argument. So of course they're trying to keep this behind closed doors because they don't have an argument for it, you know? And so, you know, that's what drives me. That's my revenge. My revenge is I'm going to show y'all I ain't had nothing to do with it. And I'm not letting it go, you know? Like until something happens where we sit down, we could talk and where it is all good for me, where I'm like, all right, you know, my wife is satisfied with that or whatever. But at the same time, I'm willing to go all the way to court, to trial. We are the ones with the leverage, not you. Oh, well, I'm thinking I'm talking to him, but not Kevin. You know what I mean?
Got you. Yeah.
Kevin they're not in control of this. They never was. You know, and we can prove that. We have it, you know, and that's why I'm not mad at, you know, the ruling thing I was saying that I heard about today from my lovely publicist, Holly Baird. You know, like we have so much against Kevin and all of this stuff, and even the DA's office, the individuals named in the DA's office. Okay, we have so much against them. And by the way, I know I'm everywhere, but just by the way, one of the lead investigator, that's what people need to understand. The lead investigator that was tied to this case where Kevin lied and said that he was extorted. Okay, she is now under scrutiny in a case that I mentioned earlier that I filed called a Section 1983 complaint, where now she's she's being sued, and I'm allowed to move forward with the case due to her fabricating evidence. Okay, that's bad, brother. You understand? Like these aren't allegations anymore. These are things that that judges are. Yeah, we're moving forward for fabrication of evidence. They just don't let cases move forward like that.
Right.
Unless you have something. You have to have some sort of merit with what you're talking about. So we have DA, her name is Robin Letourneau, DA investigator Robin Letourneau, who fabricated her own evidence. She fabricated, it came back as forged, search warrants came back forged, and she lied about an email saying that Kevin received. She lied about it. That's how they came into my house. They tried to lie and say an IP address. Like, this is the thing. Hold on. I forgot to clear something up. They said an IP address led them to my home. All right. And they said that the IP address was linked to this extortion email threatening Kevin Hart. Okay. So we're looking at, so I'm listening and they said, yeah, so, we're going to, that's just what, what happened. You sent this and sent that. And my lawyer at the time said, well, if y'all had an IP address, you already at JT's house, you already knew JT was in Vegas with Kevin, then why didn't you arrest him that day? You understand? You don't let nobody go. If you have evidence, you're going to arrest that person. You get where I'm coming from? I wasn't arrested. They didn't even arrest me. They took my computers. And that was on my anniversary, January 23rd, 2018. They took all my computers, but then it took them April 30th, 2024 to arrest me. And they didn't arrest me for anything that happened back in January. They arrested me because of the email that Kevin Hart fabricated. That's why they arrested me. Nobody knows this because they never put it out in the media, and we got evidence of that.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the truth.
I appreciate that insight. When was the last time you saw that video that Kevin did when he was supposed to clear your name?
Oh, man. I saw it back. Recently I had to watch it, because of these we're up, we filing these new claims. And so recently I watched it probably 2 months ago, something like that, recently.
Okay. I'm going to just replay this for the audience just to kind of get freshened up on it. Yeah. And then we'll continue the conversation.
Absolutely.
One of those things that I had to adjust from was a situation that involved a friend, Jonathan J.T. Jackson, where he was charged in the case. And J.T. Jackson has recently been found not guilty, and those charges have been dropped against him. And I can finally speak on what I once couldn't do it because of the legal process. They kind of put a fork in the road between he and I, and that relationship was lost. But I'm glad that now not only can I finally speak on it, but I can say I'm happy that chapter in my life is over. I'm happy that we're able to put a period on that sentence, and I'm excited to get back to life as we once knew it. I want to get back to life as I once knew it and put that behind me and move on. This message is about moving on. It's over. It's over, and I'm happy that it's over. Live, love, and laugh. It's that simple. Now,
Jay, after I hear that, he kept saying it's over, move on. And we're here now, and it doesn't seem like it's over.
Oh, it ain't over, brother. It ain't over until I say it's over. I'm not until I'm satisfied. It's not going to be over. And as you heard it, as I heard it again, he completely made it about himself, brother. Completely made it about himself. But that's Kevin. That's him.
Yeah.
He's going,
No, go ahead. I was listening.
Yeah. I mean, it's disappointing. Disappointing to see that how he turned a 7-month negotiation and an agreement that him and I, well, we didn't sit down, but we all talked, lawyers talked. We worked it out. Everybody was happy. I was happy, thinking that my name was going to be properly cleared, and for him to do that shit there. You understand? So, and made it about himself. Whatever was some selfish shit. Whatever was some selfish shit, Kevin. I know they're gonna be watching. They're gonna be watching this interview, hoping that I say something so they can try to sue me. Good luck with that, because we have all the evidence to prove that you fabricate that email, brother. Yes, you did.
So Jay, just speaking again about the fabrication.
Yeah.
And as we kind of close this interview out.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think should happen with Kevin in regards of this situation? When everything is laid out and he framed you, he fabricated. If everything is revealed in that fashion, what do you think should happen? And it seems like it is, according to the evidence that you have. But what do you think should happen to Kevin in this space?
I think he should. I think he should be held accountable. I think he should be held accountable for lying, bro. For like we just found out October 8th that what you're looking at, the fabricated email by Mike Vandermeer, that it was actually fabricated. We just found that out. So all of these years, and even when I was sitting down talking to him, when he was telling me he was gonna help clear my name, and I was in his car and we were laughing and doing this whole time, you were looking at me, brother, and you had submitted a fabricated evidence to the DA to get me locked up and prosecuted. That's what you like that, brother. We were friends. That was my dog. No, that was my pots and pans, man. We didn't go nowhere without each other. But we've been just tight. You know what I mean? And his boys know it. His friends know it. Everybody knows how close me and Kevin was. But to throw me under the bus like that, that's some dirty shit, brother.
And that makes me go into just the dynamic of the friendship. Before you guys got to this point, that relationship, I guess, was solid. But do you reflect on it differently now? Of damn, did he really rock with you like that? Was it a real friendship? And or do you more so see that Hollywood is to blame, that may have tainted him? The chase of money and fame has kind of tainted him in that sense. How do you process that when you look back at damn, I thought this was my guy?
Well, I might have to kind of quote what my wife said. All right. Character is character, brother. All right. Money and all that stuff just enhances on who you are, or who you've always been. You know what I mean? So I say that the way Kevin moves is just his character, and it's either you're going to deal with it or you're not. What was the other question you asked recently? Because it was a question that
how did you process it? Do you think Hollywood was to blame?
Oh yeah. No. I definitely don't think Hollywood was to blame. Again, that's his character. He's been put in a position, and you're going to see his character, just through Hollywood. Now, oh yeah, that's the question you asked. You asked if I ever felt that Kevin was genuine or something like that with me, or yeah. I want to believe so. I want to believe he was. I mean, there's times where I know that he was genuine, and this isn't a thing where I'm bashing him. I'm not trying to bash him. I'm just trying to tell you that what he did for whatever reasons, where he just threw me under the bus and just canceled our friendship like that. I mean, that my wife always said that Kevin was jealous of me. She's always said that. And her and I got into arguments over that. And I feel bad, and I apologize to her because she said,
"What did you think? What do you think she was trying to say? Is it because you're a taller guy or something like that?"
No, it was just she felt that she did feel I was a little more, definitely handsome. If that's what you're talking. She definitely felt I was handsome. But at the same time, she felt things that I didn't see when we were hanging out. She saw how people gravitate towards me when we go out, making people laugh. And Kevin always brought me around big producers, around people that can change your life. And I was making those people laugh. I was just being me. You understand? And my wife was watching that. And she said she was looking at Kevin at times and she was like, Kevin didn't like that at all. This is just her opinion. Yeah. And she said, and I was like, no, I said, no, Kevin's solid. He's always doing this thing. He ain't worried about me. She said, listen, I know that's your guy, but I'm telling you what I saw. And then it kind of resonated at his wedding. Me and my wife was invited to his wedding when he married Nico. And we were at the dinner before his wedding. And he was drinking, but Kevin knew how to handle his drinks, you know. So Nico said, Kev, you were looking for somebody to be to speak at your wedding. Let JT do it. I don't think she finished the T in the do it. He was like, JT ain't speaking at my motherfucking wedding. That's exactly what he said. Literally, JT ain't speaking at my motherfucking wedding. And my wife looked at me with that look like, I told you this motherfucker don't like you, you know, but she didn't say that because she don't talk like that. I'm just saying how I felt that she was trying to say it. Yeah. So
you don't really fool what you like.
Right. And he said it loud as hell. Everybody, I'm talking about people that turn around. They was like, they're like, damn, what's going on back there? Like they literally turned around. I was like, nigga, you want to keep that down? You know what I mean? And he was like, nah, man, I just he ain't speaking about wedding.
So overall, you know, when I reflect on this, it just does seem unfortunate. I've always kind of expressed that to you, on camera and off camera, right? Of just like even having to deal with that. Is there a warning to close us out that you can give people that want to play ball in the industry, that want to even befriend so, you know, just whatever you learn, what's your warning to people coming into the game?
My warning to people would be, you really ain't got no friends. I mean, I noticed that I was surrounded by a lot of opportunists. And you know, being out here in this game, a lot of people had when I was falsely arrested for that crime of extortion against Kevin, I lost a lot of friends where I'm talking about where I'm like, yo, I lent them money. I invited them over to my home. I would say, don't, you know, for people that's going to move out here, you know, have tunnel vision of what you want. Just you don't need. Yeah, you want to network and things like that, but you don't have to make people like, you know, your friend, because I have a friend, like, you will be let down in some way. And, I was definitely let down in a major way, and it changed me. I'm harder now. I don't really want to hang out with too many people anymore, you know, cause I'm a cool dude, man. I'm laid back. My character speaks for itself. You can go behind my back and do a character check, and it's all gonna come back A1, solid, you know. But I just wouldn't come out here thinking that I'm gonna get in touch with these celebrities. They're gonna put me on. They're gonna do this. No, that comes with a price, as we all know. That comes with a price. And it's either you accept it and go along with it, or you don't take control of who you are, believe in who you are, know your worth, and just go for it. If you know you're talented, you don't need nobody. Do it. And especially we're in the age right now, John, where day and age right now, John, where you can do your own thing. You got YouTube, you got so many platforms out there, you know, so you don't really need anybody if you're talented, you know. But I guess one more thing I will say, that if you're in a position like me, where you are up against monsters, not monsters like ghouls and goblins. I'm talking about monsters like people with money, You know what I mean? I'm up against Kevin Hart. I'm up against the DA's office. You know, I would say go for it. Don't let status stop your innocence. If you know you ain't did nothing and you want to go after them, go after them. You know, I am, you know, and I'm not stopping, and I'm resilient in that way. So don't ever give up. That'd be my message to people that are in any type of position where they feel like they just don't have the money to go after them, and they're gonna, like, don't think that way. Go after them, you know. And I also, before we go, I also want to, I want to thank, my wife for sticking with me. Like, people just knew she was gonna leave me, but she knows who she married,
Right.
She knows my character, so, people are like, she's still with him. And she was like, I don't know why people even think, like, they don't know you, JT. And I said, I know they don't. And for her to stick by my side, how, like, not knowing the outcome, like, she was with me when it happened, when I was locked up. I'm an actor. She's an actress. And, like, this is her livelihood. And
right.
my whole reputation's done at that time, So she didn't know the outcome. She could have, I told her, I said, hey, listen, you might want to leave me. And she said, who? I said, you. I said, it's over. You know what I mean? And she was like, I'm not. She said, I didn't marry you to be to be an actress. And she said something, but she was just like, she said, I'm with you. I married you. I know you. She said, she was like, fuck everybody else. She said, we're talented. We have brains. We can do other things. We can create things. This is the type of wife that I have and still have, so she's a great supporter. So I want to thank her. I definitely want to thank God. I want to thank my lawyers, and I definitely want to thank my publicist back there, Holly Baird, for stepping up, because she is an amazing publicist. I'm just telling you the truth. She knows her stuff, man. And I want to say thank you to her for helping me out, with this situation. And we, that's pretty much it, John.
Man, it's always awesome to even, just speak with you, to catch up with you.
Yeah.
And when I want to hold us to, I want to do an interview that's outside of this case. And I want to more so do some stuff with you that doesn't involve with this,
okay,
just so that we can keep your career, your momentum going.
I appreciate
because
that.
you, at the end of the day, you to me, you give a great interviews, great responses. So, from me to you, I always enjoy our conversations.
Yeah, me too, man. I appreciate you, answering my call. You know what I mean? And allowing me to do this interview, because I just felt like I had to put my narrative out there again, refresh people's mind, and yeah. And my name is, and for what it's worth, my name is not you, John, but my name is JT Jackson, not Jonathan JT Jackson. It's crazy. I don't know where that came from. I mean, I might adopt it, but damn.
With that being said, Mr. JT Jackson, thank you for coming back on Hike, Comedy Hike. And man, we look forward to more.
My man. Thank you, JW. I appreciate it, man.